July 2023 then begun with a visit to the old site of Skellingthorpe railway station, which was for some reason managed by a company in Lancashire in its later years. Don't see the relevance, but let's roll
Welcome to Skellingthorpe and the site of the old railway station. Let's start by taking a look around the modern community centre and see what lies in this area. On the community centre building there's several of the old station signs in newer configuration, sporting Welcome to Parish Council Office and Skellingthorpe Community Centre. Here is a small little memorial to do with the Royal Air Force and the Skellingthorpe base. There's a little verse on this plinth in front of us, and there's 3 name cards in the flower beds of members that were possibly part of the RAF base. We now observe Stagecoach East Midlands Enviro 327791 passing the site of Skellingthorpe Station on Route 19 back to Lincoln City Centre. Much like over in Lincoln, there was originally 2 stations in Skellingthorpe. One built by the Great Northern Railway, which was later closed, for the one built by the Lancashire, Derby and East Coast Railway to take its place. The station built by the Great Northern Railway was only open for 3 years and served, supposedly, the line between Lincoln and Doncaster. The station opened in 1865 and was then closed in 1868. One of the shortest lasting railway stations, I'm pretty sure, in railway history. A station to last 3 years. The replacement station here at Skellingthorpe was built by the Lancashire, Derby and East Coast Railway and opened during March of 1897. So there was about 29 years where Skellingthorpe had no station between the closure of one and the build of the other. The station then closed to passenger services on the 19th of September 1955 and then closed for freight and everything else on the 30th of March 1964. What we're on now is heading towards Harby and Newark, and that section of the railway built by the Great Northern Railway and then partnered with the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway. As you can see, there are some signs on the side of the community centre letting you know that this is the site of the old railway station. Let's try and get closer to this sign, then we can get a better picture graph. Failing that, I can Google one and make that the thumbnail, can't I? So, as I say, this side of the footpath would take you through to Harby, which is 4 miles away, Wisbey Garden Centre and that area, which is about 9 miles away, and then through to Newark, which is about 20 miles this way. We're not going to walk it because it would take a while, and then to get back off that railway, I'm not exactly sure where you'd come out, but you would not come out smack bang in Newark, kind of obviously. So it would be then awkward getting back, but we'll walk around the other side of the railway line shortly, which will then head over through to Lincoln. Oh, would you guess? There's some information boards about health, and these are by Life Trail. I'll scroll down slowly if you want to pause to read these. You've then got level 1 here, which helps strengthen the upper body. You've got to move the handles, count to 3, and repeat it 10 times. Can you count to 3? Life is just a mirror. What you see out there, you must see inside of you. Wally Amos, 1936. Before beginning any training program, consult your physician or healthcare professional. If you can get an appointment with them, that would be helpful, yes. So it's the same on every side here. But different quote. Live all you can, it's a mistake not to. It doesn't matter what you do in particular, as long as you have it in your life. If you haven't had that, what have you had? Henry James. And here you've got pulling bars, standing push-up, with various levels. And the quote, many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not obtained through self-gratification, but through fidelity and a worthy purpose. Helen Keller, 1880 to 1968. Then we've also got this quote back here by David Starr Jordan, 1851 to 1931. Wisdom is knowing what to do next. Virtue is doing it. What's on this board? The quote, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name, but you feel free over at home or wherever you're watching this. We'll keep going. Did we miss a quote? We missed a quote. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you're doomed if you don't try. Beverly Sills, 1929. And we'll move over to the third exercise board, you might as well say. It's probably its name, of at least 4 here. So this one is arm pedalling. Adjust the resistance dial so the handle moves with minimum resistance. Will it actually move at all though? I'm not sure how old this lot is. By Hezoid, if you add a little to a little, then do it again. Soon that little should be much. Okay then. This time we've got life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. And Asins Nin, 1903 to 1977. This one is lift your legs out, try not to kick somebody, and pretend you're a clock. Stand tall and keep your back straight. Don't hold your breath while balancing. Keep one hand on the grab bar until you feel comfortable. Oh, here we go. Lower body warm up, leg pedaling, small user. Did one recently in a local field and yeah, it didn't exactly go right, so it's not tempting to do it again. Nothing endures but change. Heraclius, 1540 BC to 1480 BC. You might think the years are the wrong way round. No, we started in higher before Christ's years, and when he was born we became to 0 BC, I think. So numbers went downwards, and now we're up in 2023 AD, I think. Like I said, I'm not going to try that because incidents I've had before with the gym equipment. We've done the quotes on that board. Let's move over to this one next. I've got an hour in the area, so let's try and do what we can with it before we bus back. Calf stretch. How to use. Hold the grab bars. Place your feet on the lowest ramps, let your heels make contact with the ramps, and hold the position. A positive attitude may not solve all your problems, but will annoy enough people to make it worth the effort. Herm Albright, 1876 to 1944. It's true though. A lot of people don't like you because you do better than them. Patience and tenacity are worth more than twice their weight of cleverness. Thomas Henry Huxley. This one's about your hamstrings, which are often the thing to go when you're doing sports. Do not bounce. Quick stretches are dangerous, please. You don't need to tell me twice. Let's stretches for wheelchair users. Okay, might as well bring them as well. Try and get everybody involved where you can. Just depends what abilities they have and what they can actually make use of. Experience is a hard teacher because she gives the test first, the lessons afterwards. Vernon Sanders Law. So as you've now seen some of the walking route to Harby, Wisby and Skellingthorpe, we're now going to make our way the other side of the road towards the more forestry part, towards Lincoln, which the walking route on the opposite side of the road enters at the Pie Wipe. A bed and breakfast situation, I'm pretty sure. I've never really looked into that, but let's see what's over that side. Sort of obviously, there used to be a level crossing across the middle of the road in this rough location, where we've now got this direct walk across. I can't exactly find many photographs of this. There's one and it's on Flickr, but Flickr's a faff to operate. So now we enter the Lincoln side of the walking route between Newark and Lincoln. We come to this fish fin? I'm not sure. No, it's with the Royal Bank of Scotland, okay. This is one of 1,000-mile posts with the Royal Bank of Scotland to mark the creation of the National Cycle Network. Yeah, there's a big cycle network here. Right, let's have a quick walk down this side of things. I don't think we're going to find anything, but it's worth a go, and I've not seen an exploring the Skellingthorpe Railway video yet. So I thought, bugger it, might as well do it myself, they might know. There's not actually anything of history around this, like, surrounding area, because on or off recording, I've not seen any information boards to suggest anything, so all my extracts are off a site that's not strictly reliable, but it's the only place that has information, so it's make do or go without sort of thing. Additionally, mobile reception's pretty bad in this area, but there we are, it's not a station anymore, so it shouldn't matter too much, should it, to the general public? If you want to come for a walkabout and make use of your day and yourself, why not? You're practically offline. Make the most of it. So we won't go too far down because I've got to turn back shortly for a bus back to reality, I guess. But there we are. Welcome into Skellingthorpe. Your access routes, if you do not have your own transport, is Stagecoach East Midlands route number 19. And you can leave the route either at the veterinary surgery stop across the road here, or by leaving at Gardenfield and walking about 5 minutes up the road, by then leaving Waterloo Lane, turning left and following it up towards the National Cycle Zone sign. Skellingthorpe, the last station that was here, was the only Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway service in the county. Joined to the east with the Great Northern and Great Eastern Line at Pie Wipe Junction and the Great Northern Rail Metals through to Lincoln City itself. The west of the line, which we was on previously, crossed the Nottinghamshire border over to Harby. The only two Lancashire, Derby and East Coast Way stations with any sort of level crossing feature was Skellingthorpe and Boldsworth South. The station over at Skellingthorpe stood on the building stood on the north of the track, so that's back over that way. Was built to the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway's modern standards at the time. There was never any Sunday service to either of the two Skellingthorpe stations. In 1923, 3 additional trains were piled on between Chesterfield Marketplace and Lincoln, with a market day extra on Fridays between Langworth Junction and Lincoln. All of these services called at Skellingthorpe. From 1951, trains stopped running through to Chesterfield, turning back at Langworth Junction instead. The same pattern continued on services until the 19th of September 1955, when passenger services stopped serving Skellingthorpe altogether. Trains then did continue to pass this station in this time, but then everything else stopped in 1964. Partially towards, I guess, assisting the closure was a railway accident at Clifton-on-Trent on the 21st of February 1980, which then closed the railway fully between High Marnham Power Station, which still remains at Tuxford and is only now connected at Shirebrook, and through this station towards Powerpipe Junction. That then meant the tracks were lifted. These days we are on the modern cycle route number 647, which leads from Clifton-on-Trent, up near Newark, through to Doddington and Harby. So that's pretty much brings us up to modern day. Skellingthorpe station closed to passengers in 1955, and then closed to freight in 1964, meaning this station was always under privatised operations and never even saw the days of British Rail in the 80s itself, because it was British Rail that lifted the lineup. Ticketing facilities and everything else, we don't know, because that's not listed on the information that's publicly available. If information does come about, I might well recover this, or someone else might cover this as Lincolnshire's lost stations, because there are several about. And that includes the platforms that still remain over at Bardney, Southery, Sticksworld, Woodall Junction, out towards Tomby, Woodside and Boston, which was then the Lincolnshire Loop line. Yeah, it was a separate line to this, but that would then make itself a whole series of Lincolnshire's lost railways, which I don't think there's a series about either at the moment. Maybe that might be an idea for Nicholas Badley, that newer guy that's come about in the area. Maybe an idea for him. Let's see what comes up, I guess, as we start proceeding more back towards where the railway met the road at the level crossing, because like I say, there was only a level crossing here at Skellingthorpe, which served both stations, and Bolsover South. And at the moment, Bolsover South is a complete mystery point, because until finding the information, I had never heard of it. Oh, looks like... I get you. Right. So that was the other side of Sheffield then, as you went towards Arkwright Tone, and that part of the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway. Whereas where we are down in Skellingthorpe, the stations then went Doddington and Harby, Clifton-on-Trent, Fledborough, then you went over to Tuxford Central. And all that's been lost since. So as we come back onto the main road, near where everything else used to be, we come to the only stop that will get you back out of Skellingthorpe, which is the one it claims at the health centre, the community centre, and then online it then claims you are at the veterinary surgery. So the stop has 3 names, as per many other stops in the local area. See down the bottom here, opposite the veterinary surgery, but they're also saying it's at the health centre, but it is at the community centre, which is the old station building back through the bushes that you now can't see. So you can only literally come in if you leave off Waterloo Lane up that way, off the 19, or bring the bus right round to the health centre here, and then hop off here and back on again when you're finished. Basically all you can do to get here, because there's an expensive taxi service that will charge you about £11 as the cheapest to get out here, and ain't nobody doing that. The nearest bit at the moment is a £2 bus single round the block here, then a £2 single back out again. This was Skellingthorpe then.
On the 6th of July 2023, a Class 153 returned to Lincoln in Network Rail's blue livery, as seen at Brayford. This was of course 153376, which was known to operate many East Midlands train services through the city. Usually Doncaster, Peterborough, Leicester, Grimsby all formed of a single carriage.
Time for 3. So suspected order of operation. 1105 for the 1108 East Midlands Railway service from Newark Northgate, the 1112 Freightliner service from Felixstowe to Leeds, and the 1170 Network Rail service from Derby to Derby. This first route heading over to Peterborough. This first 2259 to 5B for 1142. Train 1 approaching. Eight 54, the station volunteer. Routes currently assisting with smaller stations at the top its removals, such as Sleaford and Spalding, which are heavily underused. What's next then? One now approaching, which will be the final one.
153376. For Derby via Peterborough.